Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We are bringing back the whiteboards for our group of 5 predictions, and today we are kicking things off with the American Athletic Conference, arguably the best group of 5 conference in the country, but one that will soon be losing a handful of its members over to the Big 12. But this conference, guys, is loaded with talent and is bound to be very, very competitive in 2022. And we're here to break down all these projected records and a little bit of a preview for each team heading into this season. Before we get started, guys, as always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. Also, make sure to check out everything down in the description below. That includes our brand new expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Go sign up for those today, guys. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country, beating out over 80% of the national analysts each of the last 4 years. Make sure to go check those out. Sign up today and also join our brand new Gridiron Expert Discord server. Go check that out. Again, the link down in the description to talk with fans across the country and get direct access talking to me during the regular season. So we take a look at the American Athletic, guys, and again, there's 11 teams here. There's no division, so the top 2 teams within the conference will meet for that championship. Up at the top, we've got Cincinnati. Shouldn't be a surprise, right? The Bearcats won the American last year, went undefeated, made the college football playoff, the first ever group of 5 team to make the college football playoff. And this year we have them coming in at 10-2, 7-1 in conference play. Still a fantastic year for Luke Fickell and the Bearcats, but a bit of a step back, which is to be expected. They lose Desmond Ridder. They lose Jerome Ford. They lose their top wide receiver. They lose their top 2 cornerbacks in Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant. They lose a lot. And then they have a tough schedule, including a road game at Arkansas to start the year, then a road game at UCF, and a road game at SMU. It's a tough slate. They're bound to drop a few. We have them dropping 2 games of only 1 in conference. They are atop the standings, and right behind them is Houston, who also made the American Athletic Championship game last year, have the Cougars coming in at 10-2, 7-1. This is the team that went 12-2 last year, one that returns their star quarterback in Clayton Tune, one that returns their star wide receiver in Nathaniel Dell. They did lose their star running back in Alton McCaskill to an ACL injury back in the spring, but this is also a team, guys, that defensively is pretty solid. Lost a lot from last year, but should still be pretty solid and should be able to navigate a tough schedule that includes road games at Texas San Antonio, Texas Tech, SMU, and ECU. So a lot of tough games for the Cougars, guys, but the talent is there to get back to that championship game. And clearly we do believe it will be the Bearcats versus the Cougars. Underneath them, though, UCF. Everybody knows about UCF now. And this is the team that does have the schedule and the talent to run the table. Maybe win the American. We haven't fallen 1 game short of making that championship game. Maybe even go undefeated. They do have tough games against Louisville and SMU and Cincinnati, and a road game at East Carolina and at Memphis. But Gus Malzahn's entering his 2nd year down in Orlando, fresh off a 9-4 season with the Knights. Mikey Keene returns at quarterback. They also added John Rice Plumlee, the transfer from Ole Miss. Johnny Richardson and Isaiah Bowser are both back at running back, which was a great, part of their offense last year was the ground game for UCF. And they also returned 8 starters on defense. This UCF team, guys, is loaded from top to bottom, and they have the talent to navigate a relatively difficult schedule. We have them at 10-2, falling just short of making that championship game, but would not be surprised in the slightest to see them playing for that title in December. Then you see a significant drop-off, at least in overall record. 3 straight 10-win teams here. The next closest we have is 7 with SMU. And I hate picking SMU to go 7-5 because I think they actually could do better than this. Rhett Lashley is in as their new head coach. Tons of talent there. Great offensive mind. He has Tanner Mordecai back at quarterback. Rashee Rice is back at wide receiver. Going to be one of the best duos in the AAC. But SMU's defense is going to be their problem, their Achilles heel. A defense that was 124th versus the pass last year. Only 3 starters are back on defense for SMU, and they have to navigate a schedule that includes road games at Maryland, UCF, and a home game against TCU, Cincinnati, and Houston. They draw Cincinnati and Houston, a great offense in Maryland. They draw UCF on the road. Is brutal for a first-year head coach. And SMU, guys, has the talent, the offense to hang with just about anybody, but defensively, they won't be able to get the job done. That will keep them at 7-5, 5-3 in conference. Below them, East Carolina, the Pirates, 7-5 last year, 7-5 this year. Holden Ahlers is back at quarterback, along with Keaton Mitchell at running back, who became the first 1,000-yard rusher for East Carolina since 2013. 5 starters are back on defense, a defense that improved by 9 points per game last year and easily could improve more this year. The Pirates, guys, once the laughingstock of the American, are a legitimate contender this year. They have all the pieces necessary under Mike Houston to make a run to that championship game, but they have 4 straight games towards the end of the year against UCF, BYU, Cincinnati, and Houston, and to me that 4-game stretch is going to stop all the momentum that the Pirates could get from a very fast start. But Mike Houston doing a phenomenal job with the Pirates. Talent is there, and they should go bowling, and hopefully this time it won't get canceled. Rounding out the top 6, Memphis coming in at 6-6, the last bowl-eligible team in the American based on our predictions. 6-6 last year, 6-6 this year. Seth Hannigan is back at quarterback. That's huge for the Tigers, but Memphis only returns 2 starters defensively. 2 starters defensively, a defense that ranked 103rd nationally versus the pass and 91st nationally overall. Keep in mind the Tigers open up the year against the air raid in Mississippi State. Not going to bode well for the Tigers. But I do believe Ryan Silverfield does just enough to get Memphis back to the postseason. Hopefully their bowl game does not get canceled. The Tigers in at 6-6, but far from where they want to be, far from where they were a few years ago, where they were the king of the American. The last 5 guys we can go through kind of quick. USF, South Florida, in at 4-8, along with Navy, also at 4-8. Tiebreaker going to the Bulls. USF is doing a pretty decent job under Jeff Scott. They're improving, right? They went 2-10 last year, but now they've returned 17 starters and added Gary Bohannon in at quarterback to transfer from Baylor, a guy who practically led Baylor to the Big 12 championship last year. So his dual threat ability and leadership is going to be key for the Bulls here, guys. They had 3 one-possession losses last year as well. So while they went 2-10, they easily could have been 5-7. They just were unable to finish those close games. And I believe they're able to finish just a few more of those this year. They're going to be a tougher out on offense, definitely a tougher out on defense. USF coming in at 4-8, while Navy is going to continue to struggle offensively. Everybody knows they want to run the triple option, but they just don't have the quarterback and the line play to do it the way they have in the past. They just haven't been able to do that. And when you look at the schedule for them this year, last year, 11 of their 12 opponents made the postseason. This year, they have a road game at ECU, a road game at Air Force, a road game at SMU, Houston, at Cincinnati, a home game, or the game against Notre Dame, and a road game at UCF. So schedule just as daunting, if not more daunting than it was last year for the midshipmen. And across the board, they just don't have the pieces and the talent to get back to the postseason. They're going to struggle once again. Bottom 3, Tulsa and Tulane. Interesting here, they're 5-7 each, but below teams that are 4-8. Obviously, it's because of the conference record. We believe Tulsa and Tulane only win 2 conference games. The Golden Hurricane for Tulsa, they went 7-6 last year. Pretty solid year for them, but they need to get better quarterback play out of Davis Brin, and they only return a handful of starters defensively, which to me, I believe, will be their downfall. Yes, they're still going to be running that 3-3-5, which proves to be pretty difficult for their opponents, right? But Davis Brin cannot be more consistent. And if the ground game struggles a little bit, Tulsa will fall short of the postseason. We believe they do by 1 game. The talent is there to get there. We believe they fall just short. And we believe Tulane actually, while 5-7, second to last in the conference, for many wouldn't be good. When you look at Tulane from last year, they went 2-10. 2-10 last year. So we have them improving by 3 games. They returned 6 starters on defense. They returned a very underrated quarterback in Michael Pratt. But they have some tough games at Kansas State, at Houston, at Cincinnati. A couple of those tough games are going to end up keeping them out of the postseason. But Willie Fritz's squad should bounce back and be way more competitive than they were last year. And then finally, guys, Temple, 3-9 in the overall. New head coach in Stan Drayton. A Temple team that was 126 overall on offense last year, 122nd on defense, going to go through some growing pains with a new head coach and obviously not having very many high expectations. So Temple going to take a while, 3-9, going to match last year's win total. Overall, guys, we have Cincinnati and Houston in the American Athletic Championship game. We're going to give the edge to Cincinnati, right? We didn't even mention Evan Prater earlier. Evan Prater is going to be the new quarterback more than likely for the Bearcats, the highest ranked recruit in Cincinnati football history. We believe as the year goes on, he continues to get better. And in a game between 2 10-2 teams, but a potential New Year's Six bowl game on the line, we believe that Cincinnati gets back to that New Year's Six bowl game for the 3rd straight year. 2 years ago, the Peach Bowl. Last year, the playoff. This year, who knows? But the Bearcats, once again, will win the American, but it will be tougher and it will be closer than it has been in years past. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks like we mentioned, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. Make sure to sign up for those today. Make sure to go join our Gridiron Expert Discord server and stay tuned for everything that we have coming up over the course of this season. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.